Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into something truly fascinating, AI influencers.
hmm
These are, entirely digital personalities on platforms like Instagram, and they're generating some seriously surprising income.
Yeah, it's pretty wild when you see the numbers.
We're talking about creators reportedly making like $500, $1,000, even upwards of $1,500 in a single day.
Wow.
And get this, one example we came across showed over $11,000 earned in just 1 week.
11,000 in 7 days.
Yeah. Okay, let's unpack this. How is this even a thing?
It really highlights how rapidly AI technology is advancing, right? And the brand new ways people are finding to create content and earn money online.
Right.
What's particularly interesting here is how AI is changing who can become an influencer.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to require a real person, obviously.
The force.
Now the playing field has shifted dramatically.
Exactly. So our mission today is to get down to brass tacks. We've got this detailed YouTube transcript that essentially gives a step-by-step blueprint for creating and monetizing these AI influencers.
A real how-to guide.
And that's exactly what we're going to explore. Think of this as, your shortcut to understanding how this whole operation works, from the initial spark of an idea to potentially earning real money.
And it's worth noting right off the bat, like the source material does, that this is definitely unconventional.
A bit.
It raises some interesting questions, about online identity and the nature of content creation in the digital age.
For sure.
But whether you're fascinated by the possibilities, maybe a bit skeptical, or just curious about the nuts and bolts of how it's done, we're going to break down the process based on this detailed guide.
All right, so step one, according to our source, is installing a free AI art generator called Focus. Now, this isn't just your average AI image creator.
It's got a specific purpose here.
Right. What makes Focus particularly suited for creating AI influencers?
Well, what's fascinating here is Focus's specific design. It's really good at generating hyper-realistic faces and photos.
Okay.
And that level of realism is absolutely key, for creating AI influencers that people can actually believe exist online and want to follow.
Right, and the transcript specifically mentions why choosing a free open source option like Focus might be preferred over some of the, better known platforms like Midjourney or DALL-E. It's not just about the technical side, is it?
Not entirely, no. If we connect this to how some AI influencers gain traction, especially on, say, Instagram, it often involves exploring content that might push the boundaries a bit.
Push the boundaries? How so?
Well, traditional AI generators often have stricter rules about generating realistic images of people in, revealing clothing, for instance.
Ah, okay. Censorship policies.
Exactly. Because Focus is open source, meaning its code is publicly available, it doesn't have those same built-in restrictions. And surprisingly, that lack of restriction can be a factor in driving engagement for certain types of AI influencer content.
Yep.
Interesting. So it sounds like it opens up some different possibilities. Okay, so how do you actually get Focus? It's on GitHub, right?
That's right, GitHub.
For those who aren't super familiar with GitHub, what's the process like?
Yeah, GitHub is basically where developers share software code. According to our source, you'll find a link in the YouTube video's description. You'll need to scroll down the page a bit
Okay.
until you find a specific download link. Click on it and then choose to download the files. The source mentions it's a few gigabytes in size.
2 gigs. Okay.
So it might take a little while, depending on your internet speed. They noted around 3 minutes on a fast connection.
Got it. And then it downloads as a zipped file. Yeah. What's next?
Exactly. You'll need to unzip that downloaded file. The folder you get will be larger, around 5 gigs maybe.
5 gigs. Okay.
And this might also take a few minutes. Once that's done, you'll have access to the program's files. To start Focus, you just find and click on the Run file inside that unzipped folder.
Now, the transcript mentions that Windows might throw up a warning about open source software. That can sound a bit, concerning. What's the deal there?
That's a valid point. Because open source software isn't always from a big recognized company. Windows might flag it, like, hey, we don't know this app.
Right.
However, as the source suggests, if you feel comfortable proceeding, you can usually click Run anyway.
Okay.
After that, Focus will actually download and install some additional files it needs. The source said this can take around, 7 minutes?
7 minutes, yeah.
Once that's finished, Focus should open automatically. And if you close it and want to use it again later, you just go back to that Focus folder and click the Run program again. Pretty simple.
And a really helpful tip from the transcript if anyone, hits a snag during installation.
Oh, absolutely. The GitHub page for Focus has a discussions section.
Okay.
Think of it like a community forum. Users can ask questions, get help from other users, even the developers sometimes. So if you run into any problems, that's a great place to look for solutions.
Good tip. Okay, so Focus is installed. Now for the creative part. Generating our AI influencer's first portrait. What kind of look should we aim for? Seems like endless possibilities.
There really are. I mean, the source material highlights the huge variety they've seen in successful AI influencers, different ethnicities, ages, nationalities, hair colors, you name it.
So pretty much anything goes.
It seems like your imagination is kind of the only limit.
Yeah.
The key is to decide on the initial look you want and then guide Focus to create that.
And what are the specific settings within Focus that the transcript recommends to get a good starting portrait?
Okay, so the first important step is to click on Advanced, then go to the Style Setting tab
Advanced style setting. Got it.
and select Focus Photographs. This tells the AI, hey, I want a realistic photo, not like a painting or something.
Makes sense.
The source also suggests specifying a face-on and flat portrait.
Face on and flat. Why that specific?
It's to get a clear, direct image of your influencer's face. That becomes really important later for keeping their look consistent in future images, for the face swapping.
Ah, okay. Good base image.
Exactly. And Focus is set to generate 2 photos by default, but you can change that number in the advanced settings if you want more options right away.
Okay, so we have our first portrait. Now, how do we ensure our AI influencer looks like the same person in all the photos they supposedly post? That's where the face swap AI comes in.
Precisely. Maintaining a consistent appearance is, crucial for building a believable online presence. The transcript introduces the idea of using face swap AI.
Right.
And the good news is that Focus actually has this capability built right in.
Oh, it's built in. That's handy. How does that work within Focus?
So you'll click on Input Image and then Image Prompt, followed by the Advanced tab.
Okay, input image, image prompt, advanced.
Yep. Here, you upload that initial portrait photo, the one you want to use as the consistent face.
Upload the base face.
Right. Then, in the text box, you describe the new photo you want to generate. The pose, the background, the clothes, whatever you're imagining.
So you describe the scene.
Exactly. Focus will then try to create that new image while applying the facial features from your uploaded portrait. Think of it like taking the mask of your initial portrait and carefully placing it onto the new picture you're generating.
Okay, I see. The transcript does mention that this is where having a more powerful computer can really speed things up, though. Tell us about that.
That's right. Generating these images, especially with face swapping, can demand a lot of processing power.
Yeah, I bet.
The creator of the YouTube video shared their experience. It took them around 10 minutes to generate a single photo on a less powerful laptop.
10 minutes per photo. Wow.
Yeah. So if you have a more robust system, like a gaming PC or something, you can expect much faster results. And as we mentioned, Focus defaults to 2 photos, but you can adjust that in advanced settings.
And what about those advanced settings? What else can you tweak?
Well, you can adjust the balance between performance and quality.
Mm-hmm.
Performance gives you faster generation, maybe slightly lower quality. Quality takes longer, looks better.
A trade-off.
Yeah, the usual trade-off.
Yeah.
You can also change the aspect ratio, make landscape, portrait, or square photos. And like we said, you can set how many images Focus generates at once, up to 32.
32 at once. Why so many?
Well, the transcript points out a very practical reason.
Yeah.
Dealing with those sometimes funny AI glitches.
Ah, the weird hands.
Exactly, especially the hands. AI still struggles with hands sometimes. By generating more options, you're just more likely to get usable, glitch-free images.
Makes sense. Although it's funny, the transcript even notes that some surprisingly popular AI influencers still post photos with noticeable glitches
Yeah.
and still get a lot of engagement. It seems like the novelty or the overall look can sometimes outweigh perfect realism.
That's a really interesting observation, actually. It suggests that maybe the audience has different expectations for AI-generated stuff. Perhaps, a certain degree of artificiality is even part of the appeal for some people.
Could be. All right, so we've got our consistent-looking AI influencer photos. Now, what about videos? The transcript mentions that while maybe not absolutely essential for success, realistic AI videos can be incredibly impressive. How do we get into making those?
Right, this brings us to step 4. Installing a free AI video face swap tool. For this, our source recommends Face Fusion. It's popular, it's free.
Face Fusion.
Okay. However, they strongly advise against trying to install it yourself manually.
Oh, why's that?
Apparently, it can be quite complicated, lots of dependencies, things that need to be installed just right.
Okay, so manually installing Face Fusion is probably not the way to go for most of us then. What's the easier alternative?
The recommended solution is this tool called Pinocchio.
Pinocchio, like the... Okay.
Yeah, maybe an odd name, but it's described as a free open source internet browser specifically designed for installing other compatible AI applications.
Ah, a browser for AI apps.
Exactly. And conveniently, Face Fusion is one of the apps it supports.
That sounds much more user-friendly. How do we get Pinocchio and then use it to install Face Fusion?
Okay, first you download Pinocchio, choose the version for Mac or Windows.
Right.
Once it's downloaded, you unzip the file, and then you run the setup program. Again, you might see that Windows warning.
Run anyway.
Probably run anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
After Pinocchio's installed, you open it up, go to the search page inside Pinocchio, search for Face Fusion, and then just click Install.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, according to the transcript. What happens next during the Face Fusion installation through Pinocchio? This sounds like the magic part.
This is where Pinocchio really shines, yeah. It automatically identifies this whole list of other software components, dependencies that Face Fusion needs to run correctly. If you were trying to install Face Fusion manually, you'd have to find and install each of these separately. It could be a real headache, honestly.
Yeah, that sounds tedious.
But with Pinocchio, you can just tell it, yep, install all this for me.
Yeah.
The source notes that this entire dependency installation process can take a significant amount of time. They said around 25 minutes.
25 minutes. Okay, so grab a coffee.
Exactly. Good opportunity to take a break, do something else while it's chugging away.
Wow, that sounds like a huge time saver compared to doing it manually. So once those dependencies are installed, is Face Fusion ready to go?
Not quite yet. Almost there. After the dependencies are in place, you still need to install Face Fusion itself within Pinocchio.
Ah.
You'll find an Install button on the Face Fusion page inside Pinocchio, and you click that. This will then download and install the specific Face Fusion program files. The source said this took around another 15 minutes for them.
Another 15 minutes. Got it.
Once that's finally done, Pinocchio will give you a clickable URL, a web address. You click that link, and it opens Face Fusion in a separate browser window ready to use.
Okay, we've jumped through a few technical hoops, maybe waited a bit, but we now have Face Fusion up and running. How do we actually use it to swap faces in videos?
The process itself is fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
Within the Face Fusion interface, you upload the original video you want to modify. That's your target video.
The target video, right.
Then you upload that consistent portrait photo of your AI influencer that you created earlier in Focus. That's your source image.
Source face.
Exactly. Face Fusion will then generate a preview so you can see how the face swap looks before you commit to the whole video.
The preview sounds really useful for checking it's looking right. Are there any adjustments you can make at this point?
Yes, you can use these things called processes to refine the result. The transcript specifically recommends using the Face Enhance process.
Face Enhance.
Yeah, apparently it often makes a subtle but noticeable improvement. It'll generate another preview after you apply any processes. Once you're happy with how the preview looks,
Yeah.
you simply scroll down and click Start to begin the final processing of the entire video. The person in the video mentioned this took just over 24 minutes on their less powerful computer.
24 minutes for the final video render. Okay.
And the result. You've got a video where someone's face has been pretty seamlessly replaced with your AI influencer's face, all using completely free open source tools.
That's pretty remarkable, really. The accessibility is amazing. Now, the big question, where do these AI influencer creators get the original videos for the face swaps?
That's an excellent question, and the transcript sheds light on two main approaches. The first one they mention is using what they call TikTok clone tools.
TikTok clone tools, so just downloading TikTok.
Essentially, yeah. Downloading and potentially repurposing existing TikTok videos. Though obviously there are potential legal and ethical questions around using copyrighted material you don't own.
Right. Copyright infringement is definitely a concern there. What's the second way they get video?
The second method mentioned is legally hiring models. Platforms like Fiverr, for example.
Hiring models on Fiverr?
Yeah, hiring them to create specific videos for them, often in bulk. This way, the AI influencer creator actually owns the rights to the videos and can use them freely for face swapping without any legal worries.
Okay, that sounds like the much more straightforward and legally sound approach.
Definitely seems that way.
Okay, so we've got our AI influencer. We can create consistent photos, maybe even some impressive videos. Now for the crucial part, getting people to actually see this creation and, more importantly, making some money from it. How do they get traffic to their Instagram accounts?
Yeah, the monetization, well, the common assumption might be that these AI influencers just buy followers or pay for engagement.
Right, that's what I think.
But the transcript shares an interesting anecdote. An AI influencer creator actually responded to the original YouTube video, stating that they primarily build their audience organically.
Organically, how?
Through consistent posting. Just putting out content regularly.
So it's the classic patience plus consistency strategy, just feeding the algorithm over time.
That seems to be the main strategy highlighted, yeah. By consistently sharing photos and videos, they allow Instagram's algorithm to find and show their content to users who are likely to be interested in that type of profile. It takes time, though.
Patience and consistency.
Yeah.
Okay. And how are they actually making money from this following once they've built it up?
The primary way they're monetizing, according to the source, is by creating exclusive membership websites.
Membership sites.
Yeah, these are linked in the AI influencer's Instagram bio. They're essentially subscription-based platforms like Patreon or OnlyFans, but maybe geared towards this niche. They post exclusive photos and videos there that followers pay a fee to access.
And the transcript specifically mentions one platform that seems to be quite popular for this.
Yes, FanView is highlighted as a particularly popular platform for these AI influencer creators.
FanView. Okay.
The source even contacted FanView and apparently got some proof of the earning potential. They shared examples. AI influencers making thousands of dollars per week, tens of thousands per month.
Seriously, tens of thousands a month.
Yeah, and on average, over $1,000 per day. They even reiterated that one creator example who made over $11,000 in just 7 days.
That $11,000 in a week figure again, that averages out to over $592 per day.
Exactly. Those numbers really show the potential here. It's kind of staggering.
Those are some seriously impressive figures. The host of the original video even did some personal research, right? Subscribed to one of these FanView pages.
That's right. They subscribed to see what the content was actually like.
And what did they find there?
The content was described as adult-oriented, but not featuring full nudity. So it seems to be focusing on a certain type of suggestive content designed to attract paying subscribers.
Okay, suggestive, adult-oriented, got it. So if someone listening wanted to set up their own FanView account as an AI creator, what's the process like?
The transcript provides a pretty detailed step-by-step guide for that. First, you go to the FanView website, sign up for a free account.
Standard sign up.
Yeah. You need to select your country, indicate that you're an AI creator, and likely choose the not safe for work option, given the context.
AI creator, NSFW. Okay.
Then you select your gender, presumably the creator's, not the AI's gender, but maybe that's ambiguous. You provide a profile picture and name for your AI influencer.
Use one of the focus images.
Probably, yeah. And add a banner photo. The transcript suggests just using a cropped image you generated in Focus for the banner. Makes sense.
Right.
You also need to create a short bio for the account. They even suggest using a tool like ChatGPT for help with writing the bio, which the original creator apparently did.
Using AI to write the bio for your AI influencer. Meta.
A little bit, yeah. Finally, you'll need to complete a standard identity verification process, KYC, Know Your Customer. Usually involves uploading a photo of your passport and taking a selfie.
Standard verification stuff.
Pretty standard for platforms handling payments. There's also an optional step to indicate how you found out about FanView, which they mention might come with a 1-week earnings bonus if you fill it out.
Oh, a potential bonus. Good to know. And there was a key strategic tip for when to sign up for FanView, wasn't there?
Yes, really good tip. The source advises waiting until your AI influencer has already attracted some followers on Instagram before creating your FanView account.
Why wait?
Well, this way, you can potentially maximize your earnings during that initial 1-week bonus period. You can immediately promote your new FanView page directly to your existing audience on Instagram.
Hit the ground running with the promotion. Makes sense.
Makes good sense, yeah. Have some people ready and waiting to potentially subscribe right when you launch and that bonus window opens.
Makes perfect sense. And the final step in this whole monetization process, after setting up FanView.
The final step is simply doing the work.
Yeah.
Creating posts with exclusive paywalled content on your FanView page, and then actively marketing that page to your Instagram followers, encouraging them to subscribe for access to that exclusive stuff.
Right. Content creation and promotion.
The ongoing work.
Well, this has been a truly eye-opening deep dive. It's pretty astonishing how readily available these tools are, many of them completely free, as we've discussed.
Yeah, the barrier to entry, technologically speaking, seems surprisingly low.
And the potential for generating income, while certainly unconventional, is clearly present based on what our sources have shown us. Those fan view numbers are hard to ignore.
Absolutely. It really makes you think about the evolving world of online content creation and just how quickly things are changing. AI influencers are a really fascinating, maybe even slightly weird example of this shift.
Definitely. And it leaves you, the listener, with a final thought to maybe chew on. Consider the implications of this technology. How is it reshaping the landscape of online content, celebrity connection, and even how we make money from it all? Where does this go next?
Lots to think about.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.